Good morning, Robert Davis here with you. This morning we're going to do a how-to on using Delphi with Microsoft's SQL Server Express Edition 2019. So let's just jump right into it. What we want to do is go to the browser and go to this URL up here. I'll put that in the description down below, and you want to download, unless you already have SQL Server, you want to download the Express Edition. It's a free edition of SQL Server, ideal for development and production for desktop, web, and small server applications. Just click on Download Now, put it in your Downloads folder, and then install it with all defaults. And that'll get you where you need to go. Also make sure to install the SQL Server Management Studio. That has an option when you install. Let's go ahead and come over to Delphi, and what we'll do is create a new VCL application, and we can expand that here. Let's also do this, put a data module on our, well, if I can get the menu thing right, we need other Delphi database, data module. There we go. Expand this a little bit. And so what we're going to build is our typical contacts application. So let's go over to SQL Server Management Studio, and we'll click on Databases. Select New Database, and we'll call this Contacts. The defaults are fine. You can see we got contacts started here. Go to Tables, right click, New Table, and we'll call this ID. It's going to be an integer. Do not allow nulls. Let's grow this out a little bit. And we want to double click on identity specification to come down here to is identity and convert that to yes by double clicking. And the identity increment is 1 and the identity seed is 1, so the first record is going to be number 1, 2, and 3, and so on. And we'll have a first name. That's fine. No nulls for the first name. They have to have a first name. That can be null. Last name cannot be null. Address can be null. You may only have up to. City can be null. State can be null. Zip can be null. That's fine. Phone. And email. We'll make this 100. Some people have really long emails. And a notes field. We'll say this is max. And that can be null. And there we have our table. Click on this close here. And I'll say save changes, yes. And we'll call this the contacts table. Okay. And if you look in here, there's our table contacts. And you'll see there the SQL. So we're done in SQL Server Management Studio for the time being. Let's get over to Delphi and back to our application. And now what we need to do is go down here to DBGo, which is your ADO components, and double click on ADO connection. And we need to build the connection string, so we use this little wizard from the triple dot box and build it. I like to use the OLEDB driver for SQL. Let's go over to SQL Server again and disconnect for a second and reconnect. And this string that's highlighted is the server name, so Control C to copy that. You can go ahead and reconnect. And then back over here, Control V to paste that in. And we'll use Windows Authentication. That's the simplest. And we'll select the database contacts. Test the connection. Works fine. Good. Okay. Okay. Now we need a table. Double click on that. Lay on the table. And we need to assign the connection, which is ADO connection 1. And we need a table name. And we don't want that just to escape out of that. Cancel by user. Let's go back to connection and say login prompt false. Then return back here. And get the table name, context. Now we can double click on this, go to add all fields, and we don't need to put the ID field on the form. Let's go back over to the main form, and we'll select all these. And drag this over here. Form 3 is not using data module 4. Do you wish to use this form? Yes, we do. And then select all these really wide ones and we'll give them a reasonable length. We'll say 250. Oh, that's too many. Move this over. Size this in. And we'll expand the DB memo a little bit to match up. And now just go up here and get our data control DB navigator. Where'd it go? I double clicked on it. There it is. And we can put that up here. And see, can we get this? Alright. Now, if we go back to our data module, click on ADO table 1 and activate it, and we should be able to run this. But we've got to assign the data source to the DB navigator too. So data source 1. Okay, let's run this, see what we get. And we'll put this in. I'm gonna delete these two. SB main. And let's see, this is UDM for data module, and PRJ content here and there. And you see it's ready already. So we'll add me. Fat finger all those. And we can go ahead and add another one. And I won't bother filling in the rest of those. We can go ahead and post this. And you see now we have 2 records in the database table contacts. We'll stick a note in here for Sharon. And when you scroll off of it, it commits the post. So you see the notes field is updated properly. So we'll go ahead and close this. And what you have so far is a contacts application in Delphi using Microsoft SQL Server Express 2019 as the database system. And so that's really all there is to it. So you're up and running with Microsoft SQL Server now. We've gone through 4 databases in the last 2 weeks, evaluating them and seeing how simple it is to make an application with them. And I don't think it gets much easier than just installing Microsoft SQL Server, SQL Server Management Studio, and using it in Delphi with the DBGO components for your ADO access. And we'll go into multiple tables and relationships in another tutorial. So that's all there is to it. And I wish you luck. Have a good rest of your week. Nice weekend. And I'll see you in the next tutorial. Okay, bye.